Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. It's January 1st, and it's 2024, and it's your boy, Dave Neal. New year, same old content. That's right. The Bachelor universe is kind of cyclical, right? And we have what appears to be a photo of one Zach Clark and one Kaitlyn Bristowe, possibly canoodling. Zach from the great state of Philadelphia, Kaitlyn of Canadian descent. They are both the yin to each other's yang in a sort of way. He's sober. She runs a wine empire. But hey, why not? Why not? We're going to get into the possibilities of this being a relationship, or is it just two friends having fun on New Year's Eve? Totally fair either way, not our place to judge. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind the scenes bonus content. I'll probably have more on this story tomorrow when we're back here full time, and also Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast. Now, speaking of Bachelor Rush Hour, I'm trying my best to give the podcast unique and up-to-date content. Yesterday on the podcast, this morning on the podcast, January 1st, 2024, I shared this tidbit I'm going to share with you before I realized it might be about Kaitlyn Bristowe and Zach Clark. Have a listen. Since it's New Year's, we might as well do some soul searching for the new year. Oh, by the way, I should have led with this. I got a wild rumor, and I wanted to be the first to say it out loud. I was told by somebody who's close in the Bachelor Nation to look out, and maybe you guys could do this if you're bored today. I was told to look out for a possible hard launch of a new relationship in Nashville. Okay, that's all I'm going to share. Go listen to everything else I had to say on the podcast. You can go check out that full conversation. We talk about this rumor. We talk about all of the different things going on. I even offer you some New Year's tips you can get into. But either way, we have on the left Blake Moynes. I'm guessing here in Nashville, dressed up in some very nice New Year's Eve garb. It looks like he's got like a banana cream tuxedo. Hey, Blake, save some for the rest of us, you sexy devil. And then we've got Zach Clark here in his strapping sort of Newsies outfit going on. Extra, read all about it. We've got a Bachelor rumor of Zach and Kaitlyn. So there they are on the left, just so you know, showing that we understand now that this was Zach. If this were the only photo coming out, we would say, I don't know, is Kaitlyn with, the guy making the vintage cocktails? She looks like she's cozying up to a barber. Who knows, right? We've got Katie Maloney here from Vanderpump Rules. I believe that's her name. And who else is in here? I'm assuming this is at Kaitlyn's house, although I'm not really sure. So I just wanted to show here that we can confirm we've got Zach Clark and Kaitlyn Bristowe. Now, is it a big deal that they're together? Well, no. I mean, it's two consensual single adults spending some time together. There's no smooch here like we had from the previous story. If you didn't catch our previous story, I'm trying to see where I've got it here. I've got it right here. Oh, hold on. My previous story was of Susie Evans smooching with Justin Glaze. Now, they were virtually caught. I mean, you can't get closer to a smooch there. You can smell each other's dental hygiene. It's definitely a smooch. We're calling that a smooch. They were caught on New Year's Eve, possibly canoodling, smooching, as it were. But this is a little bit of a different story here, because while we don't have anything else other than an arm around the neck, what we do possibly have is a soft launch. That's when you introduce to the audience a possible new relationship. So I wouldn't think, now I'm friends with Kaitlyn. I think she's a fantastic businesswoman. I love her authenticity and that she wears her heart on her sleeve. I don't think Kaitlyn would have a problem with me sort of wondering about this relationship, because I don't think this photo would have made it out if there was any sort of them wanting to keep this thing on the DL. Does that make sense? That's where I'm on this matter. That if, assuming they're at Kaitlyn's house or a very small get together, they would not let someone else share this photo. It's not in your face. It's respectful, but it is a little thin ice in the sense that Zach was engaged to one former Bachelorette co-host, Tayshia Adams. And of course, there were rumors that why did Jason Tartick unfollow Zach Clark? Could they be dating? Oh, there's no way they could be dating. And the story went on and on. So there they are. It's New Year's. Everyone's getting a photo. And here we have Kaitlyn Bristowe looking great in a sheer lace long dress with spaghetti straps. I don't know what else to call it. Clavicles out for the girls. You got Katie Maloney. Is it Maloney? Whatever, from Vanderpump on the left, and a few other friends there. All looking fantastic. It looks like the lady on the right is doing an espresso martini. That's how you party in your 30s with caffeine. So I'm giving you extra content on New Year's. Just, buckle up, have an Adderall, enjoy the ride. We've got Gary Turner and his fiance with their short-lived engagement here, preparing for this Thursday's wedding. A lazy afternoon on New Year's Eve with our wedding only a few days away. And as we know, Gary and Teresa were spotted speaking to Ryan Seacrest at last night's New Year's Eve rockin' event. And there they were. They spoke to him very briefly. Gary was extra excited to be out past his bedtime. There were a whole lot of fun here. He hasn't had that much fun since he was in the semifinals of his local pickleball tournament. But either way, we're looking forward to their Thursday live event. We'll probably have a pre-show, post-show. Okay, so I'm a little all over the place. So here's Tayshia. No comment from Tayshia. She said rest and recharge on repeat. So no comment from Tayshia. But we do have some notes regarding Kaitlyn Bristowe and this possible unification with Zach Clark. Now, here's my thoughts on it. I've heard nothing but unsubstantiated rumors regarding them. Zach has been broken up from Tayshia for a long time. They've been broken up for, 2 years now? I mean, it's been a long time. We've covered that a while ago. Tayshia's moved on. She wants nothing to do with Bachelor Nation. Respectfully, she's like, all right, I'm done with that. I've got enough Instagram followers to go make a career elsewhere. But you start to wonder, and I've had this theory for years now. Tayshia says she got COVID for Katie Thurston's finale of The Bachelorette and couldn't travel from New York to LA. Kaitlyn Bristowe had to be the only host that was there for the live show. She knocked it out of the park. If that was an audition, she did great. Of course, they ended up bringing in Jesse Palmer. Kaitlyn Bristowe was upset. She was like, I thought I did a great job. I would have loved that. And of course, she would have done a great job. They went with Jesse Palmer. What the hell went down where Tayshia, quote unquote, got COVID 2 years ago? And I know what people are saying. Oh, Dave, she probably just got COVID. Why 2 or 1 day before she's supposed to be in Los Angeles was she in New York when it was the highlight of her professional career, hosting the live after the final rose with Kaitlyn Bristowe? I wouldn't miss that for the world. Now, if you get COVID, you have to miss it. But I would have taken all preventative measures 2 years ago at a time where people were still social distancing and doing all that to make sure I didn't miss it. My guess is the producers didn't want Tayshia there. They wanted to audition Kaitlyn as the sole host. That's just my rumor. It's never been confirmed. It could be simple. The Dunbar principle says the simplest thought is what actually happened, where maybe Tayshia just got COVID. But again, I don't know why she would have been in New York a day or two before she was supposed to be in California getting ready, warming up and preparing for hosting the live after show. Why does that matter? Well, is there a rift between Tayshia and Kaitlyn? Maybe. And there's the whole conversation of, should Kaitlyn not pursue Zach because she was friends with Tayshia? It really does ask questions where my answer is no, but you have to believe that this relationship will supersede whatever relationship you may or may not have with Tayshia. So is your friendship strong enough or not strong enough that you would rather move on to something else? Those are the questions you have to ask, right? So I'm going to pull up a completely different slide here. Give me a second. BachelorNation.scoop is shared several different clips here of what's going on with this possible relationship. So let's go to BachelorNation.scoop's page here. Again, this is all late breaking. The Bachelorette said, God bless this mess. Someone said, this ain't it, girl code and bro code broken. What I've learned from covering The Bachelor and from the lack of support that I've seen Clayton Echard get in his paternity scandal is that there is no code whatsoever. There is no code in Bachelor Nation. It's everybody out for themselves. That's what I've learned. Well, here's what some interesting unverified tea. Now, when this tea comes out, you always take it with a grain of salt until you're served an actual dish. The tea was, I want to start by saying this is completely unverified. I just wanted to know if other people heard the rumor and what we thought. Jason caught wind of possible Kaitlyn and Zach together. Again, this is just an unverified rumor from a while back. And talked to Kaitlyn this past weekend, who denied that she was talking to Zach during their breakup, but didn't deny that she is now. So this rumor is that Jason found out Kaitlyn was talking to Zach during their breakup, which, again, when could you be friends with someone and then it turn into something deeper? Absolutely. I mean, me, I was the first to apologize based on the coverage of Victoria Fuller and Greg Grippo, who have since developed a nice relationship after the gray area where she broke up with Johnny DiFilippo and it was behind the scenes of Paradise and all that. So I'm quick to look at this now with as much generosity and faith that, hey, things just happen. Things just happen. Some clues. Jason definitely unfollowed Zach sometime recently. Zach still follows him. Kaitlyn Bristowe likes a good amount of Zach's photos starting in July of this year. Prior to that, she hadn't liked one of his photos in over a year. Zach started liking most of her photos back in May of this year. Jason stopped liking his photos in early October. Maybe that's when the unfollow happened. Do you think she and Zach are talking? This is wild that people pay attention to this stuff, but I, for one, will not judge Kaitlyn and or Zach if they decide to start dating. They just have to know maybe Tayshia's not going to sign off on it, but Tayshia's the one, as far as I remember, who broke up with Zach. Tayshia's the one who moved on with someone else. So theoretically, Tayshia shouldn't care, but at the same time, Tayshia and Kaitlyn probably not going to be besties after this. But that's just how it works. You move on. You try to find your partner. Sometimes it's the right one. Sometimes it's not. Kaitlyn and Jason Tartick clearly didn't work out. Hey, Zach's got a lot going on. As far as Zach being sober and her being, running a wine company, I don't see that as a big deal. If someone decides to consume alcohol and someone else decides they're not going to, I think Zach it's up to him to decide if he can be in that sort of relationship, which clearly he seems perfectly fine being there. So not for us to sort of wonder. But by the way, if you want more information, definitely follow the podcast. That's where we'll have any updated content as it comes. Usually when these stories break, we call them a soft launch. Usually people start putting the pieces together. Likes, unlikes all start to come together. Some say that Jason Tartick actually unfollowed Kaitlyn Bristowe today, which probably healthy for Jason. Probably healthy for him to move on, and he's thinking of moving to New York, and for them to sort of make their amends, but also move on with their lives. All right, let me know what you think. Do me a favor. It's 2024. Let's start the year off right. Keep it kind in the comment section. Let's not be too judgy. Everyone's trying their best.